parents, excuse. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need a motion for the consent agenda.
So moved.
Got a motion, got a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public input, this is the time and place for discussion items that are not already on the agenda with a time limit of 3 minutes each. Discussion and possible action in reference to annual street finance report for fiscal year 26.
So you'll have a 7-page document in the packet. This is the annual street finance report that's required per the state. Just for your browsing, and if you have any questions, Christina puts this together, so. If nothing, we just need approval for it.
Move to approve.
The motion to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Discussion and possible action in reference to approving plat of survey number 3064.
All right, we had a P&Z meeting last week to discuss this. This is a property of 801 Country Club Drive. As you can see, that property there is a odd-shaped lot. I believe total it's 1.36 acres. The dotted line you see in the photo there, that's what you would call parcel B. Currently, parcel A is the other chunk of property. Along parcel A, it does not conform to a lot, like you couldn't build a house there, but there's a garage for the property, 2-stall garage that's right on the property line. So in order to, they want to tear down that garage and put up another garage. In order to do that, they'd have to bring that building to conforming or tear it down and then move that over, and then there's not enough room to get the setbacks. So if you make this one lot, they can put the garage closer to the house, and then basically it would be kind of half on the old lot, half on the new lot, but since it's all one lot, it can't really be used for anything else. It's as divided as it is. I don't know why it was done like that, but it's really a useless lot other than yard space. So P&Z recommended approving making this all one parcel, and it's owned by the same person, and it'll all be 801 Country Club Drive.
Any questions? Motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Discussion and possible action in reference to payment number 2 to MBA Incorporated for ball diamonds and sports complex phase 2 in an amount of $212,562.50.
All right, so this is for the work that's completed since the construction seasons began. We had one payment issued at the end of the last construction season, and this is for all the work they've done this spring. I think a large part of this is the Shakopee line and the stuff that's been brought in for the diamonds and the warning track, which is the end of this time. So Lisa's went over it, verified the quantities, and recommends approval.
Motion?
So moved to approve.
Motion by John, second by Nate.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 25, 2026, approving property lien for utility fees.
Okay, these are for water bills for 419 South Jackson Street and 218 East South Street. They're owned by the same individual. And then for 403 North Jackson Street, which I think is going to be getting resolved because that house was in foreclosure, and we actually have the contact info today, so we're hoping to get all the information to them for that. And then 17 North Penn Street, which we had a conversation with that individual today. They're going to be selling that property, and they're going to be taking care of this amount soon. But in the meantime, we want to make sure that we still follow our process, and they've been given the letters and basically following our process how we do that, so this is the next step.
So are these, do they still have water service?
No.
The motion?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Nate, second by John. Nate?
Aye.
Riley?
Aye.
Don?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Resolution 2026, approving board members.
So this is for the History Center Board, Tony Noss, Lyndon Noss, Eric Yarborough, Becky Bunning, Gloria O'Hara, Anna Brolick. All terms will expire on the 30th of June 2027. And then council to approve and appoint director to the library board, Jeanette Smock. Her term expires on July 1st, 2032.
Any motion?
Almost gave a motion for that.
Motion to approve. Riley, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Nate. Nate?
Aye.
Riley?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Resolution 2026, approving capital improvement transfers.
So these are our capital improvement transfers. This is all part of the budget. We always do that, usually this meeting. This will go for all the way through June of next year. That takes money from certain accounts and puts it into capital improvement funds. This also will include the remaining money that we transferred from loss for the well that we needed to when we did that, and then the Fairway $50,000 money that they get. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Any motion?
Motion to approve the transfers.
A motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Kevin?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Riley?
Aye.
Nate?
Aye.
Resolution 2026, approving ballot language for EMS district vote.
So I'm back. I thought last time was going to be our last meeting talking about this. So they're not required. Lynn County requested that we did set ballot language by resolution, referencing the last resolution we did. So that is what's coming before you guys tonight. So if you have any questions, I'm here.
Any questions? Any motion? Anybody?
Move to approve.
Motion by John, do I have a second?
Second.
Nate?
Aye.
Riley? John?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Second reading of ordinance 01/2026, update to electric franchise.
Motion to approve the second reading.
Motion to approve, do I
I'll
have a second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No,
Second
roll
reading.
call,
No,
I mean,
ordinance, sorry.
for ordinance.
Nate?
Aye.
Riley?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Second reading of ordinance 02/2026, update to natural gas franchise.
Motion to approve second reading.
Motion, a second.
Second.
Kevin?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Riley? Nate?
Aye.
Correspondence?
Nothing tonight.
City engineer report.
He is out of town. We covered both of our reports.
Public Works?
My thing with the city engineer report is the contractor for well number 5 is ready to have it on site and try to give us part of the site back so we can take some of those dirt piles that are up there with some of the weeds that are growing on it and get that spread around to get that cleaned up even more. We did get the area mowed last week. What we could get mowed due to, the rain that we got, some of the spots were just unmanageable for us. Gillette, we've got the center portion, the travel portions poured back. If you've been out there, we're hoping Wednesday-ish to get that open one lane with stop signs there while we work on the curbs. That way it's not closed for that long.
What happened there? Is that just
It's,
rain or?
that's the third time. What happens is that concrete, when it gets hot like it does for a long period of time, when it grows, it'll buckle, just like they do down the interstates when you get
So
long.
it's just a heave, pivot
Just-
heave
yeah,
to the ear.
um,
Okay.
I've been on the phone a lot with our engineers. They've been on the phone with the Concrete Association boards, not just for us, but for other areas. We've come up with an idea that we hope's gonna help us with that. We'll see. So I'm hoping we can at least get one of the curbs poured back by the end of this week, weather permitting. If it stays hot like it is, it's not really the best time to pour concrete because it'll cure too fast. And that's not giving you a good final product. So we're gonna do what we can to get that done. Once that's done, as you saw, we had the new service going into the new construction on South Washington. So we've got a couple panels that we have to fix there anyways. So when we get done at Gillette, we'll get those panels poured back because the area that they were gonna cut versus what we actually need to fix in that area is much bigger, so it made no sense having them pour back a 2-foot section that we have to then turn rip out, so.
The city workers are doing those
Yes.
pours?
Yep.
So if we keep that road closed, could they just pour them both on the same day? Or-
It's gonna be 2 pours no matter what, because the intakes are gonna get poured separate than the curbs. So yes, you could pour both of them, but you're still gonna have 2 days of pouring. If that makes sense, because we're gonna box out, like when we had the last contractor do it last time, he poured the curb and gutter line all together around the intakes. This, we're gonna make an expansion cutout to give it more room to move. So when it does try growing in the summertime, hopefully it'll have the room to move.
I'm just thinking, I mean, it's been closed this long, I mean, what's another week? I mean, if.
Yeah, look at the window of weather that we have.
But I'm just saying, I mean, you guys working there and having one lane open, I don't think that's real safe.
I mean, when we're working on there, we can close it when we're pouring and then have the one lane when we're not. I just think for off work hours, if we can open it, it'd be less inconvenience for the people. And that's what we originally told them we were gonna try to do anyways there. I do know there's golf carts going up and down the bike path there that the residents aren't happy with, and we can get it opened up, quit going down there, so. Okay. Okay. The contractor for the school had this weekend opened up, and they're the ones donating, moving the millions and stuff for the bus parking.
I see that's already been taken.
Yep, so they asked what I thought, and I says, nothing's been signed off on, and their thought was, either way, it's whether the school gets to use it or the city gets a parking lot out of the deal. They were gonna donate the stuff anyways, so it's done, it's cleaned up. It looks really good. I didn't know, so you've seen it, I don't know if anybody else has.
Yeah, they were working on it Sunday, so.
Yep, yeah, so, I was in Des Moines when I got the phone call, I didn't have a chance with me being in class today to talk to Brandon about it either. That was our talk right there.
Oh, yeah, they staying busy.
So, yeah, so they wanted to get it done. They didn't want it to wait till the 10th, and you guys okay it, and then something happened to where they can't get here before school.
Well, regardless,
Yep.
it's there, and it's either gonna be our parking lot, or the school's gonna
Yep.
work out a deal with this.
Yep,
So-
pretty much,
So that's, and then we're gonna donate it.
yeah, it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah,
so.
for everybody,
Yep,
yeah,
okay,
especially for us.
so that's it. Any other questions, or?
Yeah, the road, Washington Street there by where Ned Taylor used to live, on that way. Are we doing anything with that?
Well, that's part of the patchwork that needs to be done along there. So we're gonna have to patch all that before we can diamond mill it or whatever we end up doing with that. The other thing too is I'm hoping, starting August 1st, I'm gonna be working with Dave. I went through ECOG and they think that we're available for a potential grant, through the DOT. So we're gonna be starting that process, and hopefully, I don't wanna do too much if we're gonna get a grant for the vast
Isn't Highway 1 closed next year?
27.
I think so, yeah, that's right.
Well, Brandon, now that we're talking about grants and what's not, is the downtown, is that a TIP program? The downtown?
Yeah.
Do we have a
It's in the
TIP?
TIF district,
A
yes.
TIP district, yeah. Wouldn't it, to switch the subject around, but wouldn't it be better to do the TIP program with the new restaurant that had the sewer problem? Wouldn't that be our better route to go?
I'll address that. I got that in my
Oh,
notes.
you do?
Yep.
Okay.
Anything else for Travis?
Is that space in front of the restaurant all fixed up now
It's not fixed, it will be
before sauerkraut?
yes,
days?
that's the plan, the contractor's supposed to be there. If they can't, then we will run in to Pelican and grab a hot mix and just put a cap on it for the week.
But one other thing, Travis, with this, the parking lot there, I imagine which I think the school will, agree with that. Now, they would be in charge for electrical, and do we have to put in a new pole, or
No.
we're able to handle that?
Yeah, the electricity inside there will be just fine. What's gonna be is, they'll have a separate meter installed, so we'll just deduct what they've used off of ours.
Anybody else, anything for Travis? Parks and Rec.
Our deadline for fall sports is August 7th, so next Friday. And then we'll start all of our soccer and flag football programs at the end of August after Sauerkraut Days is over. Sauerkraut Day stuff coming up, so I'll be working on slow pitch tournament. We'll have a movie in the park on the 13th. 12th, sorry, Wednesday the 12th, we'll have a movie in the park, and then we're going to have a back-to-school night after that the following week on the 19th, before kids go back to school.
Do we know what the movie is,
We
right?
don't know yet, we'll know on Wednesday, and then I'll post it on Thursday.
On the board, out here?
Well, yeah, I'll probably have Brandon put it on the board too. I meet with my Park and Rec board on Wednesday at 7, so we decide then, and then I'll post it on Facebook, and yeah, I'll have him put it on the board outside too, so.
That'd be great.
Yep.
Graydon?
I don't know if it's Park or Rec or Public Works, but the other day at the pavilion, I was gonna get a drink of water out of that water fountain, and it seemed like it wasn't working. Has that always been that way, or?
Not that I'm aware of. Nothing.
Anybody
There's
mentioned that?
a valve on the inside, and sometimes people will go in and mess with that on the inside, so I'll check that tomorrow morning.
Okay, this was a week ago, maybe someone already fixed it, but
Yeah.
anyway. It's good to have.
Okay.
Police department or library?
I don't have anything from her today.
Police department?
How's your academy? You have two in academy yet?
August 21st is their graduation. So,
Ambulance?
Doing a lot of training with the new folks, so we've been out doing some classes at night and doing a lot of driver training, so you might see us cruising around town doing that. So, but otherwise, things are staying steady. We've had a nice, slow couple of weeks, so that's been pretty appreciated.
Okay, well, one thing, and I know you've been here numerous times, and we've talked about, the ambulance for Cedar County. Well, I had a gentleman, which he doesn't mind me mentioning his name, Dan Cole, which is putting in a pretty good development out there. Now, he knows he's gonna get asked, what services are provided. And, it would take the Cedar County Council to overturn what they have for the ambulance, is that correct?
So it would take, it would be a pretty big process with the community members. The biggest thing for us is getting to the point where we know what our structure is going to look like over the next couple of years. So after the September 1st vote, and we get our trustees put in place, we'll have a little bit better idea, and we can work with Cedar County a little more. There's still a project in development. It's been being developed for the last two-ish years. They're planning on putting a truck on the north side, they just don't know where yet.
Yeah, like a neutral truck, it
Yeah.
would be great to have. I mean, if people can't understand the fire district goes way out, why can't our ambulance, and I know you've done everything you can,
It's because EMS isn't an essential service throughout the state, so it kind of leaves it up to the county to decide who responds where. At least that's what they've designated in Cedar County. In Lynn County, it's up to the fire districts. So it's just kind of how things are in Iowa, unfortunately. So
I think that's a great idea, if we could get a truck and put it at a neutral kind of spot, we can find one, you know.
That we ain't gonna be doing it.
No, we won't, no.
I would say Cedar
Cedar
County.
County.
Yeah. So they do have Mechanicsville there. They haven't given any indication that they're going anywhere, which is good for us because they're the closest mutual aid for most of our district. But future will tell. So
Yeah, well, still good luck with it, and we gotta just keep on it.
thank you.
I mean, why wouldn't we want professionals? I mean, I thank goodness we have volunteers over, I mean, with all these small towns, hey, kudos to that, but if I have trouble, I'd much rather have a kind of a little more professional situation handled. So, good luck with that, keep on it.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Fire chief?
I'll just touch on what Riley was saying there. Just for clarity, so people understand, the Lisbon Fire Department is the City of Lisbon Fire Department. So what happens is the townships in and around us request our services to be extended to their location. So back, I don't know when it was, 75, when the ambulance service started, 75?
70, 73,
Something like that. I think prior to that, there was actually an ambulance here, and then maybe it initially was out of here for a while, but, so, that's probably why, because the ambulance always went to where the fire went, because it was housed in the same, from everything I can dig up on it. But, so Cedar County, the townships that are over there, they request our services and they make the lines, so that's how the fire department goes. Same with Lynn County Fire District 1, they drew the map on the residents that they wanted us to cover, and then they pay us for that. So that's why we do it. We get the revenue, they provide for coverage, and then it helps offset some of the cost of doing business. So anyway, that's that. Got the pancake breakfast coming up. Fairway, I'm meeting with them this week about that. They're also going to be doing a roundup for that to help as a fundraiser. I believe Sauerkraut Days is also doing a roundup, so and Gary's as well. So at Fairway and Gary's. So if you guys people support that, that'd be great. And then we are getting ready for Sauerkraut Days for the fire department. We'll be working with Los Cunados downtown to figure out what works best to wash the streets. Usually it's been like Wednesday, but now that they're open, we'll have to figure that out. So it may end up being Sunday, late morning on both days to get that done, but we'll work through that and make sure that there's no issues and we still make it look good for Sauerkraut Days. That's all I have fire department related.
Okay, so you're just talking about, I realize we have the townships around us. So let's just use fire district number 1. So where you guys cover in fire district number 1, the ambulance don't have to cover that. That'll come from Mechanicsville.
What do you mean?
So like your fire district number 1, let's say, is out here, just on the other side of the Cedar County line,
No.
Lynn Fire Truck
or whoever it is.
No. Lynn Fire District 1 is all the rural addresses that we go to outside of the city limits of Lisbon,
Okay,
in Lynn County.
in Lynn County.
So then they do the calculation, and then they pay us money for that. The township in Cedar County, they figure out what it is, and then they pay us a chunk of money. Jones County,
So the Cedar County ones, let's say, They don't, the ambulance don't cover those, that's covered by mechanics, no?
No, they cover where we go.
Okay, okay.
But then that same township will pay then Mechanicsville to cover the remaining area of that township.
So the struggle is for fire department, it's essential at the township level. So every township and city has to guarantee fire protection. And so their township trustees, or in the case of Lynn District 1, which is an actual fire district, which is kind of what we're doing with the EMS district, their trustees kind of pick who covers what. In Iowa, nobody really can say definitively who picks that, and the kind of the guidance is, well, we guess the counties. So the Cedar County supervisors could enter into a contract with us to continue to cover the portion of Cedar County we do. They're just not interested in that at this time, so.
Moving on, fire chief, city administrator.
Travis kind of touched on it. They made some pretty good progress on the weeds out there at the sports complex this week. As I said, they got the warning tracks and a lot of the line put in place. I'm meeting Lisa Birch out there this week to get a plan moving forward on further cleanup of the weeds and what we can do to help mitigate that. Been working on a lot of nuisances. Several were called and sent out. I also made contact with LRS on some of the commercial accounts in Lisbon for the dumpsters that we don't have any part of or we don't really have say in, but there were several properties that were overflowing that were creating a nuisance. They have been dumped, so I don't know what's going to happen going forward at those locations. Obviously, it's a private deal between the property owner and the company, but they've both been made aware that they can no longer make it look like that anymore. So those are taken care of for now. Los Cunados downtown, as we discussed last time, the downtown rehab grant. As soon as I get all the invoices for the project, for what's taken place there, we will present that as a part of the downtown reinvestment grant. That downtown reinvestment grant is a part of the TIF. That's where that money comes from, is the TIF district. So that district pays into that TIF, and then that gets sent back to the city.
Okay, so first it goes to rehab grant, correct? And then it gets dispersed down to the TIF?
No, it goes. It's money that's allocated into there. So we have the downtown rehabilitation grant, and so when we do our TIF, it's what, November, December. We can allocate those funds from that district, and so like we asked for that TIF funding to come for that downtown rehabilitation grant, and then it comes into our account, and then we can offer that grant, and then we spend it out of that account.
Okay. Only because, years ago, Pizza House had a fire, and we get a TIF grant, and it was, there it is, so I said, nobody gets nothing for free, and they said, exactly, because your taxes are going to be going up. That's how they recouped that, and after I sold it, that continues on with the tax basis being higher. But with it being all underground, how is that benefiting? That still falls under the TIP program, I guess, is what, even though you can't see it. You can't see it because it's underneath, because mine was frontage.
The grant spells out in the grant, I can print it off and show you or email it, but it gives you all the parameters of the grant. And there's all the rules that this was made years ago, before I was here, they had this grant. And then it goes and there's a committee, the historic preservation goes through and they have to sign off on it, and there's a whole formality, and that work would be covered as a part of that grant. Just like if somebody wanted to redo the plumbing, some of what Bill's tap did was part of the plumbing. That's the same thing. It's behind the wall, you don't see it, but that is covered underneath that grant.
Okay. And probably, I think we meet when the 11th is the next time we meet, is that correct? Okay, so do you think we'll have the buildings by the 11th, or,
I hope so.
I mean, the later the better, I guess. All right,
Yeah.
that's all I have.
They're trickling in. I get 1 or 2 every week.
Yeah, I just wanted to make, you know, this number, I knew Lisbon.
So it is TIF money that funds the downtown reinvestment.
Yeah, especially the sign that you see, historical downtown Lisbon, so I kind of,
Yep.
all right.
I've been looking at the speed limit sign there by the park, the one that you mentioned there in Solon. They run between $4,500 and $5,000. I've looked online for some grants. Some of them we probably wouldn't qualify for because they're more for larger projects, but I'm going to still look for that, and then also look for maybe some funds that are community-based funds that we have in accounts, like maybe like our cable TV franchise money for something like that, where we put the sign up with that fund. But I'll look at that and hopefully have something for you here soon. Talked about the South Washington Street, which was a private service in that location. Also, just so people know, on these road closures and such, we use Facebook, put it on the sign. We also have the nixels that go out, which automatically send you an alert on your phone. So you can register your device on the city website. So I encourage all residents to do that. So if we have water main breaks or anything big like that, we'll send those alerts out to people to get that information put out. So it's important that people do that. I talked about the P&Z meeting. Meet with the school for this 28E on the parking lot. We got a couple of windstream poles that I'm trying to get moved over there, and then we're going to navigate that 28E as far as electrical and all that stuff will be a part of that 28E, so it'll all be spelled out for you guys, so everybody will know how everything's going to be laid out. And then I think the back to school night, they're still planning to partner with Southeast Lynn.
No, we're not.
We're not?
Because so we're doing ours on Wednesday, they're still gonna have their meal on Thursday. So ours, the big reason we do it on Wednesday is because kids are going back to school, and so we're gonna keep it to that night. So we'll be at the park.
Are they gonna want to close the street again? Do you know?
Nope, so that's all,
Okay.
no, they're not going to, they were just gonna do that if we partner, so.
All right, that's all I have. Happy to answer any questions.
That's kind of Travis's too. Is all the painting done?
No, we're still, sorry, I had that written down on what I was gonna say. We got our shipment of beads in. We're gonna get started hopefully Wednesday, weather permitting. When it's this hot, the sprayer gums up faster than we can get the paint to come out of it. So when we go down 30, we're probably gonna do that in the middle of the night too. Something I gotta talk with Brandon about. When we work nights and get that done.
Another thing, before sauerkraut days, if we can, them pads that we had, right at the intersection, the pinkish pads, there's still a lot of sand on some of them. That I don't know if when we wash the streets, I don't imagine we want that down to the storm sewer.
Well, I don't know.
What is it?
Well, them pads right by North Jackson.
What pads?
Well, it goes cement.
The
pink-
handicap pad and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get those,
There's
yeah.
sand,
Yeah.
sand that's covering them up.
No, we'll get those with the street sweeper, and then when we can't reach with the street sweeper, then we'll go behind that and scoop those up with the gator. So those will get picked up.
Yeah, because they look nice when there's no sand on them and they're cleaned up. I
Yep.
mean, we put them there for a reason. I just thought we want to showcase our town a little more. That's all I have.
Sidewalk on Main Street. Right, the house that was tore down.
So Mechanicsville came in, fixed the damage that was done when they dug. Weeds have been mowed there, holes have been filled, and they got to cap the water at the line. I'm going to make sure that they aren't digging that or need to dig that back up before I have them pour the sidewalk back. So I should know more this week. And they'll be done before sauerkraut days, because I told them it had to be, so.
Okay, in regards to that, you're gonna separate them out with two different inlets before they pour, because we separated them lots into 2 lots.
Yeah, so they have to run their own, so they're gonna utilize the existing sewer service.
Yes.
The water is not the correct, per code, so they have to re-tap water, and then they'll have to do sewer and water on the other one as well, but I don't.
So one does not, and one is going to have to.
No, they're both gonna be, they're gonna use the existing sewer to one of them.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, the sewer. 'Cause I
Two new
don't
waters.
think we could tie 2 into 1.
No, can't do that. So, but he's been told that the sidewalk has to be poured back by, I gave him the 12th of August, so.
Sidewalks down there by Clark's, did they blow up? And I see we replaced a bunch of.
That's
Private,
private.
that wasn't us,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're just,
We had pictures of those before we put the water main down through there, and
I just seen that.
Yep.
And then do we have nuisance for backyards?
as far as,
Or if it's private property, can we still serve them?
yeah.
I'll talk to you.
Good.
That's all I got. Anybody got anything else for Brandon? Christina?
I've got the debt obligation report done, the street finance report done, almost done with the annual financial, and Wednesday, Thursday is our city audit. So we'll have the auditors here for those 2 days, and hopefully have a report probably by September, October for that.
Anything for Christina? Nathan?
I don't have anything tonight.
Raleigh?
No, I'll just see, hopefully see everybody the 11th.
Ted?
No, 10th, excuse me. Oh,
John?
I'm with it.
Sorry,
There you go.
I meant to correct.
Southeast Lynn could use some extra help in the month of August. They'll have their third Thursday free meal, and they'll also be working on the safety fair on that Thursday of sauerkraut days. Also, the sauerkraut committee can always use a little help for the sauerkraut days. That's all I have.
Kevin?
Is there, maybe I missed a bit of, are we doing the safety fair thing for sauerkraut days? That's different than the movie night, right?
Yeah, safety fair's on, is that on Wednesday?
No,
That's on
Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah.
Wednesday, the movie, Thursday will be on here, ice cream social, safety.
Oh, yeah, that's the word I was struggling with, ice cream social.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be at the city park.
Nope, be out of conflict.
Where was it? Was it out there last year? Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Yeah.